Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we're going to look at some of the London traps which you will find even on the highest level. And hopefully, you'll be able to use these traps in your games. So please like and subscribe before we start this video. Okay, let's look at this trap. d4, d5. Okay, regular London. Bishop f4, knight f6, e3, we play the old main line, c5, black challenges the center, c3, we complete our pyramid, knight c6, and now it's very important that you play knight g2. I talked about this previously, knight f3 is not quite accurate because of queen b6 hitting the pawn. I will make another video later addressing all the minor points of this, but there is a video from a couple of weeks ago which I will link in the description to give you an idea of what works and what doesn't. But for now, knight g2, and we'll see what happens if black plays bishop g4, which, as you can see, happened on the highest level 30 times. Black attacks the queen. So we can respond in two ways. We can, of course, play queen b3, attack this pawn, because the downside of moving the bishop is it does not defend the pawn anymore. Or we can just play knight f3, which is the move I'll show you now. A lot of the time, black will take. And let's see what happens if he does. So pawn takes. You could take with this pawn. There is nothing wrong with this, but it becomes very, very symmetrical. It's hard to win. So in the London, you will usually take this way, and the reason is now you have this open line, you have control of the e5 square. At some point, if you kick this bishop, you can do this, and life is good. Okay, black plays e6 because he needs to bring out the bishop. You see by transposition, this position happened 90 times on the highest level. Now we play queen b3, and black needs to deal with this. Okay, so for obvious reasons he can't do this because of the bishop. For obvious reasons he doesn't want to do this because he blocks this. So the question is, where does the queen go? A lot of the time your opponents will play queen d7, which is a very natural move because, as you can see, queen c8 is the main move on the highest level, but it looks a little bit unnatural because that's where the rook wants to go. So a lot of the time your opponent will play queen d7, saying, okay, I have nothing to fear, I'm going to play this next, this is defended, I'm not worried about knight e5 because of my knight. However, that's the exact move which you will play. Knight e5. Okay, black has several choices. He can move his queen, he can take. Let's look at all of them. So first, let's pretend he takes, which is a very natural move. Now we take with a pawn. And the reason we take with a pawn is because we have two threats. We're attacking the knight, but also bishop here is deadly because the queen and the king are on the same line. Let's go back. Let's pretend he doesn't take. Well, what can he do? He doesn't want to go to c7 because he walks into a discovery. So now at least something like this, knight g6, is going to win a piece. We attack the rook, and at the same time we attack the queen. Even better in this position is knight takes knight, but it's a little more complicated. The point is, if they take with the queen, again, those two guys are on the same diagonal. We play bishop b5, so they don't want to do this. The queen is attacked, so the most natural question is what happens if they take the bishop. Well, now we take here, we're attacking this rook, And this rook does not have squares. And after rook d8, we could of course take the rook, and that's super winning, but it's even better to play bishop b5 with all kinds of attacking possibilities, and the rook is still there for the taking. Okay, let's go back. I want to show you what happens if now they play queen c8. So if they play queen c8, this bishop is a little bit stranded over here. So we'll start with f3. It doesn't really matter where the bishop goes. He can choose either of the squares. We will follow with the same idea of g4. So let's say he goes to f5 to get on this diagonal. While we play g4. The only safe spot for the bishop is over here. Bishop g6. And now we play h5 because we want to trap the bishop. And if he moves the pawn, either h5 or h6, it doesn't matter. Let's say h5. Let's say h5. We take, he takes, and this is a common idea in the London. I'll show you several other instances where this works. Both of the pawns are now weak, and we can target them later. We can play bishop d3, we can play queen c2. He won't be able to castle, and life is wonderful. So again, let's go back to see how this trap evolved. Let's get back to move 7. When the bishop comes out, and after this trade, we play queen b3, attacking this pawn, and if black plays a very natural move, queen d7, we play knight e5. If they take, we take back and we do this. And if they if they now change their mind and move the queen, we now target this bishop and ruin their pawn structure, going after the g-pawn. So f3, g4, h4, 3 h5. After they move the h-pawn, we take and target that pawn. I hope you will use this in your videos. Please like, please subscribe, and I will be back soon. Thank you.